Hi, so the current video I'm about to put on, which is the gearbox into the frame, has been sat on my computer for some time. So I'm only just getting round to actually putting it together, and I realised that there's actually a bit missing. So this bit fills in for that bit that's missing. The bit that's missing is that I actually did install the gearbox into the frame, light weight featherbed, and I put it in the wrong way around. So I cleaned up the adapter brackets and I put it in the wrong way around. So I had to take it out again and put it in the right way around. So that is what the first section of the video is, and now this is moving into the rebuild of putting it in the correct way around. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so it turns out that actually I was wrong as to the order of the plates that were going on. So the plate that goes over on the right hand side of the bike is this one here with the two slots in. I now realise that one slot is for this, one slot is for the gearbox adjustment and one is for the clutch cable. So of course I actually had the gearbox in at this point. So now I've got it all out, and I thought I'd have a go at actually showing you how it all goes together, or showing me how it all goes together. So that is the way round that it goes. This bottom hole here I had to open up slightly, and this top hole here go into some studs which are already in the frame. So these go in like so. It's a bit tight, this one. This bottom one is a bit tight. So actually it works a lot better if you put that one in first. Right, okay. Now the stud set that I bought from Motor Lita came with spring washers. I don't think spring washers seems like such a good idea on aluminium. At least that's what I was always taught, is you don't use spring washers against aluminium. So at the moment I'm just putting plain washers and just putting the nuts on loose so that they don't keep popping off, because that would be really irritating if you end up with the gearbox falling on the floor. Because it's pretty heavy, that gearbox, I've got to say, it's quite heavy. Right, so that's the first plate on, loose. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop in this largest stud. No, I'm not. No, first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to just put the gearbox in place, just roughly, because it is a bit of a fiddle. There we go. So that's just roughly in place. Now I'm going to do what I said I was going to do, which is to pop this largest stud just loosely in. So this is going to go in. Now I've already applied copper grease to these studs that are going through the aluminium casing. Oh yeah, blinking thing, it's very heavy, this gearbox is. dangling it in an awkward manner. Right, so that big stud is now just in. Again, I'm just going to pop in a nut just loosely on, so that we don't end up with it falling off, because again it'll be really irritating. So that's just loosely on. Then I'm going to pop in this stud here as well, which is also, you know, quite a, it's a larger than standard stud. I'm going to just pop it in there, but make sure it actually comes out sort of there, flush or past flush, so that it's makes it easy to get the second plate on. Now I'm just going to pop this nut on here, again loose. Now these studs have all come with the correct threads for the era, so these are all cycle threads and super fine, so it takes a bit of fatting about. Right, now we get the second plate on, which is practically identical to the other one. The difference being that it actually has only one slot. So this then goes on here. So pop that stud in there a bit. Get these in. The bottom one on first. Then the top one, there we go, that's on, and that's on, and then we well, haven't been following my rule, have I? So I now need to just again pop these studs on so that the bracket isn't wobbling around. Just loosely on, and then another one with another plain washer just at the bottom. Actually, I'll put the plain washer on in a minute or two because it doesn't look as though there's that much thread. This bottom stud looks a bit short. Right, so now I've just got to lift this gearbox up a little bit and get this bottom stud in. There we go, that's in. And then hopefully get this one in. Which is interesting, it's not going in. Interesting. So that's in, that's in, that's on, that's on, that's on, and that just a bit tight. Just. It's so damned close. I reckon that it will go with a bit of persuasion, but maybe what I need to do is it this way around. Bring out my faithful nylon little sockety thing. There we go, all the way through. I'm going to just pop the nut on the other side. Again, all loose at this point. So that's loose, and then finally I'm just going to put on the big nut at the bottom, again just loose at this point. Right, then let's see if this adjuster works. Yes, it does. There we go. Very nice too. It's a bit stiff, but so I'm going to just try to put it in the centre, about there. And there we have the gearbox in place on my 1967 Atlas framed narrow featherbed. Brilliant. So here we go. Now some close-ups of the installation. So you can see the gearbox here. You can see this slot here. A larger bolt down here. There still need to put a washer on. Bolts up here. All needs tightening up, obviously. And then around here, you see this was the mistake I made, is that here we didn't have the slot for the clutch cable through, so I put it on the wrong way around, so now that's in. But you can see, you know, gearbox is all in and it's all looking blinking good. I'm really pleased with it. So, progress.